The Ottawa-Carleton District School Board has decided to reinstitute masks. Incredible, right? So masks are now necessary in the Ottawa-Carleton District School Board, which is the major school board in Ottawa. The capital city, I should say. I'm amazed here because I don't understand how this is going to work. Maybe I've got a very tiny little mind, but how is this going to work given that the Chief Minister of Ontario has said, the Health Chief Minister of Ontario has said, hey, you know what? It's up to you to make that personal choice. How can they override this? I want to know. And of course, the YouTube video, that's the recording of last night's school board meeting, is no longer online. It has been privated, so I can't even analyze and see what was said there because, well, transparency is sort of anathema to what they want to achieve over here. Tonight, the Board of Trustees passed a motion requiring mask use in all OCDSB buildings. Staff are developing an implementation plan and will provide additional clarification shortly. And of course, when you click the link, you want to click the link and you want to watch this, well, it's not available anymore. It's private. And why is it private? You tell me, why is last night's meeting of the OCDSB school trustees private? Please let me know, and maybe you can send a message to them and say, hey, I want to know why I can't see the meeting minutes. I can't get an idea of what happened here. I can't replay it because you privated it. Is it because possibly you know that you did something wrong that you shouldn't have done? That maybe you're going to get a little bit of pushback or blowback, as they say? How is this going to work? Are you going to be able to challenge it? You as a parent, do you want to challenge it? Do you want to be that parent? Well, I would say you got to be that parent if you're there. Now, we homeschool and we're very fortunate to be able to do that, but not everybody can. Not to mention, not everybody can send their kids to private school. I know some people have done that, and that's fantastic. You're taking your kids' education into your own hands, but I would say you got to take your own kids' education into your own hands. Even if they go to public school, that doesn't really mean that you want to not take it upon yourself to get involved, because otherwise you see what happens. You've got CRT in the curriculum, you got all this kind of stuff. And I'm not talking about those old school TVs that they used to wheel out with the VHS tapes and then we would all fall asleep at our desks. Big H.A.I.L, which is H for honor, A for accountability, I for integrity, and L for loyalty. You got to stand fast and you got to stand firm, brethren, because freedom is not free. If we allow them, they're going to slowly erode every single freedom. And I hate here that they're targeting very specifically the children who are already, imagine being a little kid right now, 2 years of this kind of stuff, okay? And no matter where you stand on the side of how much was necessary and was it not, the government themselves, the medical establishment that are the governing bodies, have said this is not necessary, and yet we have these small trustees, small-minded, very petty people coming in and telling us, no, we're going to override all that, and we're going to institute our own laws in our little zone of control. Because, of course, we control these children completely. When they come back to you, they'll be filled with our ideas and ideals and beliefs. You have simply given birth to them, that's all, but we're here to raise them. Got this lady over here, Shauna. She says this cannot be enforced. Can you possibly use these meetings for something useful that'll help our children? Perhaps stop creating more fear and anxiety around a choice that people make with their families. This is utterly ridiculous. I'm inclined to agree. Of course, you've got a lot of pro-mask people inside of the comments because there's a lot of fear going around. The fear has gripped people's brains. If you analyze what fear does to the body, fear disables the frontal cortex. You can no longer make decisions correctly. You just fall into that old school limbic system, the fear, fight or flight, that kind of thing, that actually is at the root of our base instincts, but we got to surpass that. How do we surpass that? I'll tell you how. It's by not being afraid. It's by being courageous, standing up and saying, hey, we're going to do something different. We're going to think rationally and maybe make a decision that works for everybody, right? Or allow people to make their own choices. Tweet over here from this fellow, using kids as shields for the fearful. Looking forward to watching the game, the Jays game, with 50,000 unmasked fans, while Ottawa kids are the only ones left in North America to wear a mask. Very sad. Now, I don't know if they're the only ones left, but I think you could probably count on one hand if you actually did the tally. If you could find that data, I would love to hear. If there's any other places, you could drop that in the comments section and let me know if there's any other places in North America or even globally that have mandatory masks for school children. Like I said before, I'm very fortunate and blessed to be able to homeschool them. We are truly blessed to be able to do that. I know everybody's circumstances are different. What I would counsel people to do, and take this as you will, but I truly believe it's important, you got to get active. If your kids are in public school, you got to get active. You got to go out there. You got to make a stink, because this kind of thing, if we allow it to just run roughshod over us, our freedoms and our children's education is going to get stripped away from us, okay? Their futures, their future ability to form relationships and bonds with people are actually being diminished. I fear, and here's a little bit of fear from my side, that the post-racism society that we lived in, that I grew up in, is being eroded. Not to mention, we've got all kinds of, let me put it this way, crazy ideas being put into children's minds.